What is going, guys? Welcome to Feeds Mindset, episode number 2 with the wonderful lady Toka. So Toka, welcome in. Thank you so much for being on the podcast in a timely fashion. I'm super excited to get into this next episode. I'm going to talk about a lot of cool things and stuff. So yeah, Toka, tell everybody, who you are, what do you do, what do you play, and where can they find you?
Well, well, as you said, I am Toka. I am a stay-at-home mom, but I'm also a streamer. I stream on Kick mostly, but I do still have a Twitch. I main Val. I'm a Viper main. Yes, she's hot. um, I quit COD, as you all know. I used to be a COD main. I used to be a sniper. Used to run those tournaments, give them hell, but COD sucks.
Well, that's good. That's crazy that you've kind of transitioned over to Valorant. We first met like close to 2 years ago, back in some teams and stuff playing COD, and you being a explosives expert with, with RPGs. I think one of my favorite moments I remember is I don't know. I think it was on Warzone where you had a rocket clip that was like 200 something meters
Yeah,
that you
my
did.
longest RPG shot ever was 280 meters on Warzone.
That's insane. Yeah, it's cool that you've transitioned from COD into Valorant and stuff, and it's always healthy to change your games up and stuff. I am surprised though that you, with being an explosives expert, that you didn't pick Raze. What the
That's what everyone
heck?
tells me. And also, I do think it's really funny that I switched to Val because I used to talk so much crap on that video game because I was like, yeah, it's just Fortnite, blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah. It's definitely not. But about the Rays, everyone asks me that question a lot. They're like, yo, you use RPGs, why not use Rays? Every time I play Rays and I use her ult, the whole jump back really just throws me off. It throws how she just and then you
Yeah.
shoot like, oh no, I can't. Her whole
That's
satchel, the satchel jumps, her movement, no.
what made you specifically into Viper as a character, not aesthetically.
So as a character, one, I really liked how she had gas. I don't know why, but I think like poisoning people is fucking hilarious. Um, and I noticed like when I first started playing Val, everyone would like play duelists and like Sage, and I was just like, who am I gonna play?
Yeah.
And when I first started playing, I played Jet actually. And I wasn't like horrible, but like she wasn't my favorite. And so I just kept unlocking new people and trying new people. And Viper was the second person I unlocked, and I instantly, I was sold. Just everything, including her looks. But that doesn't matter. But her whole like, also Divine, we all know Divine, love her. She showed me the backstories of like Valorant, like the Valorant
Yeah.
lore,
Yeah.
before I got into it and started playing it. And that really hooked me because it just kind of reminded me of like an anime almost.
Yeah, it gets really deep, and I know that they have like a couple of like their own like little skits and like shows and comics and stuff. But obviously, Valorant is just more for of like a free for all type game where you can just play and have fun. I do wish that Valorant had some type of story mode because you really have to figure out a way to put this. You have to want to dive in to the understanding of
Yes.
the characters. It
And you
doesn't
have,
it doesn't open up like straight in your face. Like this is Viper and this is her background. Like you have to actually
you have to
research.
like actually dig into it. And then like not only do you have to dig into Viper, you also have to dig into Omens because they knew each other, Reyna. It's all wild. You have to dig into everything and it's all. So I've actually been watching a lot of the Valorant lore just
Yeah.
because it
It's
keeps it
cool.
exciting for
Yeah.
me. They're the latest, and like I didn't even realize this with the last Valorant trailer that they came out with like Sage in her little battle outfit. There's a voice line of them saying that Sage can feel her duplicate, but she can't heal them. She's just a weapon. So there's literally two Sages in the world, and one's a weapon. It's wild.
Yeah, that's so sick. It's so in depth and intricate. So like comparing to, content wise, you started out, not like you didn't start out in COD, but like playing COD, that being your main game, transitioning into Valorant and everything you know about Valorant now. Are you upset that you didn't hop on the Valorant trend earlier, or are you kind of just happy with the way that it transitioned?
Honestly, so like yes and no. I do wish I would have started a little bit earlier just because I do feel like a lot of people are ahead in the game of me and I don't like feeling that way. Like
Yeah.
with Call of Duty, I bought Cold War first day it came out. Modern Warfare first day it came out when I started playing, and so like I felt like I kept up with people. In Valorant, I feel like I'm very far behind everybody. Like all of my friends are plat, gold, immortal, and I'm just like stuck in bronze
Yeah.
because I'm still learning fundamentals, aiming, crosshair, all that. Still learning all of it. So I do wish I would have started earlier, but at the same time, with how much I am enjoying it and how much I want to play it, I don't think I've ever been like addicted to a game like I am Valorant. When I first
Yeah.
started playing, my kid would go to sleep at like 12 a.m. at night, and I'd hop on Valorant until 4 a.m. So like I would lose sleep over this game. It was kind of wild.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, I've been there. I've been there and I've done that. Shout out Neurotic and Smoke. I don't really talk to them that much, but they was my initial Valorant, duos and trios and stuff. Us three would play all the time, and not Penguin and a couple other people like 2, 3 years ago, like just like maybe like 3 or 4 months after Valorant came out, like past beta and stuff, and it took up a lot of my time. I have tons of content on, not on, obviously not on this channel, but on my main channel and stuff. You can go and see Valorant, montages and highlights I would post, and it's definitely super cool because the comparison between COD and Valorant is just you can't really compare it. It's such a intricate and different level of game where it's just like
And
people.
skill set. Honestly, you need a completely different skill set. I had to throw all of my COD mindset out the window
Yeah.
because it got me killed. I couldn't shoot people because I'm sitting there trying to run and go pew pew pew. Like you can't do that in Valorant like
Yeah,
you
and I
can in
think
COD.
that's the main concept that like a lot of people, and I've seen that tons of times. People be like, "Oh, like you dropped 20 kills on Valor, like I can hop on there and drop 50," and then they'll hop on and drop like 3. And they're like, "What the fuck? Like I'm lagging. This game's trash."
Right, right.
And
They're like, what is wrong with this
yeah,
game? And it's like, bro,
exactly. And they're like sitting there like flickering with their DPI and stuff. Be like, "Is it my sense? Why am I not hitting my shots clearly?" And it was different. And getting into, and I've had this not like on the podcast and stuff, but previously, and even with you a little bit, I've had those conversations where my skill level that I feel like in COD, even though I quit. Fun fact for anybody that don't follow me on my socials and stuff, I did kind of get rid of COD and stuff. It's just in a bad state, and I'm just not having fun anymore. But ultimately, when MW2 dropped, over a year ago, or I think close to a year ago, one of the two,
with
I give a lot of credibility to Valorant because with Valorant and the aim training, keyboard and mouse, I mean, Valorant was my first keyboard and mouse type game. And I truly feel like my skill level in COD and me sniping only and ranked and getting to diamond and stuff, like all of that in the tournaments and just all of that kind of stuff, it really correlated back to Valorant. I feel like Valorant was a huge impact on my keyboard and mouse skills, and that's kind of something I want to transition in with you. Of how do you feel keyboard and mouse on COD, and now you're coming to Val? You're kind of backwards from my
oh
perspective.
yeah. So as I started keyboard and mouse on Cold War, so like it wasn't that bad because Modern Warfare keyboard and mouse is not that great. Cold Wars wasn't either, but definitely like with how many like buttons and like I know I have like long fingers, but I have small hands.
Yeah.
And so like all of my buttons have to be like the farthest button is my push to talk and it's B, and that's all I can reach. They all have to be on this side, and that was really hard to do in Valorant. And like I know mouses have buttons and shit, but
Yeah.
like I can't. I'm not fast enough in my reaction. Like I can't, cause gotta like curl up my hand to press it. um, I feel like switching to a keyboard and mouse only game, knowing like the skill set that I had on COD on keyboard and mouse, it helped me, but it also kind of like destroyed me for the first
Yeah.
few weeks because again, I was treating it like COD. All of my buttons, excuse me, all of my buttons were not the same, and they're still not the same as they were on COD. I just had to get used to it. You don't have a sprint button.
Yeah.
And so, oh, you can imagine how much I was sprint, sprint, and it just wouldn't work. And I was like, oh wait, there's not a sprint.
Yeah.
I do feel like switching. So when I do switch from Valorant back to Modern Warfare, because I do play it sometimes, I feel like I am actually way better at mouse and keyboard COD now
Yeah.
because I don't know, Valorant's just like a keyboard and mouse only game. You really have to focus on it and you have to get your DPI down and your sense down and you really just you have to know the mouse and the keyboard. You have to and I on COD I wasn't doing that. I
Yeah.
just put my sense up to 15 and was like pew pew.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that's a big thing too. It's like, on COD, obviously your aim and your sense and all that is a huge factor, but the big thing about COD is the spray transfers and stuff. And Valorant has such a minimal spray transfer. If you hit one kid on purpose and then a second kid accidental in COD, that's normalized. But when you do it on Valorant, you're like, holy, like
You're
no
like
way. And that's
who
just
did I
like
just hit? Where
it's
were
just it's
you?
something you can't explain, and even when you show that clip to, like, a COD person or just somebody that games in general that's not played it, they'll be like, "Big deal, like, who cares?" And that's kinda the thing to me that does stink a little bit about Valorant is people that are non-Valorant privy to what happens in Valorant and what it's about kind of loses that, like, impression sense where they're like they see a clip
Mhm.
from you and they're like, how is that cool and stuff because they don't understand. Which I mean, many games you could say that to an extent, but Valorant I feel like is such a public, big time game. There's been tons of times on Twitch and even on Kick. It's the most viewers that they have substantially on the
Uh-huh.
categories and stuff.
For
So it
gaming,
it does
yes.
stink to see that you put in a lot of work and a lot of skillful, even if it's just luck. I mean, you could have lucky aces or a 3K or like I had a triple collat one time. Like those cool things that happen, and it does kind of stink because you're super excited about it, and aside from your friends, you try to shove that content out for content and show the world what you're doing, and half of them don't understand, and it kind of puts, kind of derails you a little bit, and kind of
Yeah,
makes you
it's
like, damn.
I'm glad you brought that up because I don't I'm main op. I'm an operator. I use it all the time. Comp, third round, I buy an op. I show my clips of that to people who aren't Val oriented and they just say, "Oh, she has a sniper. Like she was a sniper on COD. That's easy for her." It took me days of death matches, swift plays, unrateds, death matches again, like days to even get a shot off and hit somebody with an op. So like for me to be where I am at now with an op and hitting clips and stuff, kind of sucks. Everyone's like, "Oh yeah, she's a sniper. She does that on the regular." I was a sniper on COD, not Val, and it's different. Totally different.
Yeah, and that's the thing that stinks too. It's like, you'll tell people like I put in all this practice stuff. They're like, "Oh, good for you." And then like when you're in those games practicing in deathmatch, first thing you'll see is put away the op. Oh my god, you're opping a deathmatch. And it's like
Op
it's
cracked.
two different worlds, man.
It's like, bro,
It's insane.
you're mad. And it's crazy because their main excuse is you're using a one tap gun. So are you when you're using a Vandal, right? So why are you mad at me because I can shoot you in the toe and kill you?
Yeah.
It's not my fault.
Just jump. Miss.
For real, you know how many
Yeah.
times like someone has jumped over my bullet or like chamber comes around the corner and is just like mink? Like I'm in my scope half the time, dogs.
Yeah.
I don't know where any of you are. My teammates have to help me.
Chewy. So that's good. I'm glad that is your main game. I'm glad that you're passionate about it. You kind of have a new form of content, even though you've been at it for I'd say around 2-ish, 3 months. I would say you've been into Valorant from what I've seen from your content and stuff. So to go back a little bit, into gaming in general, let's talk about where streaming came in. Because obviously you do play Val for fun, and I'm sure you play a decent bit in your free time. But I feel like you're like me in a sense. Like if I'm gonna play and I have free time, I'm gonna hit the start stream button. So where did that originate from? Where did Toka come from, and how did Toka get into making a community of RPG lasers that can shoot you across the map?
So actually, what got me into streaming was I had met somebody on Cold War and we had become really close. She was a streamer and she told me that her community loved when I played with her. She always wanted me to come play with her when she was streaming because they always had a blast. And one day she was like, "You really just need to start streaming." I was like, "I don't think I'm that good. I don't think I'll make it. Like I suck at COD. I don't even have a PC." And she was like, "That doesn't even matter. You don't have to be good at games." And I was like, "I feel like you do." And she's like, "You just have the personality for it. I think you should go for it." And I luckily was blessed and I was able to buy my PC right then and there off the rip. And when I got it, I set up my stream immediately, bought Cold War because you can't game share, which sucks. But I immediately set everything up, bought Cold War, downloaded it. I think I streamed literally the first night I unboxed this. And I had such a blast. And like I didn't have many like people coming through, which you're a first time streamer. Like didn't have very many people coming through, but like I would tell people in the game like, "Hey, yo, I'm streaming for my first time." I also I missed like one major part. Also, TikTok. I've been on TikTok way longer than I've been streaming. I advertised my first stream for months on TikTok. Like months. I was like, "Yeah, it's my first stream. Come say hi, come get yelled at. Like, I'll use my marshals on you type beat." Like, honestly, I really what got me like into like more content creation and sticking with it and every I got called the Marshall Queen almost every time. And like people in games would recognize me and they'd be like, "Oh my god, you're the Marshall Queen. No, get out of here." And like that made me just like I wanted to be Twitch's #1 menace.
Yeah.
And so that's what I set out to do. Building a great community and we had fun on Cold War, not gonna lie. But Modern Warfare, there was no shotguns that were fun. No dual
Yep.
anything unless it was a pistol. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna use an RPG.
I swear, when we was on Cold War, it's if I peek this corner and Toka's there, I'm uninstalling. Then we go to MW2 and it's like, all right, she's gonna peek mid, either I win or she wins. And then I would die and I'd be like, fuck, and then I'd just be pissed off the rest of the game.
And it's just
Um
like people thought it was insane. They're like, "How are you shooting so straight with an RPG?" Honestly, I do not know. It felt like it was just natural. It was a magnet. My first clip on Modern Warfare 2 was a double RPG kill with a quick scope at the end, and my lobby freaked. And it was just so funny. And then I became known as the RPG Queen, and my community loved it. The COD community loved it, and it was just funny. It was a funny time, and I'm glad that I was able to not only be myself, but like have fun doing it. And like, yes, I was making people mad in the process, and yes, I always say I like to piss people off because I do. It's funny. Like at the end of the day, it was all just fun,
yeah.
and that's why I kept the marshals on all the time. It was just fun for me, and everything made people mad, and I
Yeah,
think that's
definitely.
funny.
I mean, in the heat of the moment, obviously, especially if you're on the receiving end of the shotgun or the RPG or the op, it's like it does stink. But like, if you're somebody that's watching your content or anybody that streams and stuff, it's personality traits. It's like, yeah, like Marshall Queen, RPG, like fees with this SPX, like that is what formulates my content. That's the kind of player I am. That's the kind of play style I have. And there is shotgunners out there, and Toka knows it. She's had plenty of times where people be
Bro,
like,
it's
"Bro, like I can't shotgun like you can," and like many people is like, "It's a shotgun, it's easy," and it's like then you'll go around the corner, shoot a shotgun, you'll get a hit marker, and then Toka's like all the way in the fucking back, like boom, and then they're fucking dead. Like how? And it says fucking 281 meters.
the hot mics I got on Warzone during my RPG phase. Like I wish proximity chat wasn't like flooded with like
Yeah,
nastiness because
yeah,
I could have had gold.
yeah,
Like RPGing in Warzone is kind of unheard of unless you're like RPGing cars and like you know where they are. Or
yeah,
I was just straight up running around Warzone maps with an RPG. And it scared the shit out of people. Like the dude I the dude I killed from long distance, he was so mad. Like I don't think I've ever been screamed at like that. And a lot of people have heard me get raged at. And there's been a lot of bad times, but this guy, he messaged my Xbox because I do have an Xbox. He messaged my Xbox. He messaged my Twitter. He found my Twitter. He found my TikTok, and I was just like, "Oh my god, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to kill you." And like, I wanted to post it, but he was just swearing a lot. But you know,
Yeah, I get it. So yeah, I mean that's good. I mean it's good personality traits. I mean you changed a lot of content and like yeah, like obviously, there is definitely bits and points and stuff, but I mean that's kind of any content you make. There's going to be tons of content. Even if it's like I've seen the most humble of content on, the internet in general that gets railed harder than Toka sitting behind a corner with a shotgun. It's like
for
the
real.
the community's always going to have something to complain about or find something. There's always going to be those type of people that's going to say those things. But as a streamer, it is nice, especially for you in your case to be recognized. And a lot of people is like, oh yeah, like Marshall Glean, blah 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 blah. But it's like at the same time, they see it as annoying and stupid. You see it as that's you recognize me, and that's what makes you show up the next day because you like seeing me shit on kids and they get upset. And that's just something
Right.
that people don't realize. They don't realize that that is the impact that you make in content. And it may seem dumb to them, but the next viewer right below them on the list is watching specifically for that content.
For that, yeah, because they saw how it made. It's just how you perceive humor, honestly. And what I think is funny may not be funny to some people, and that's okay. But like, to turn around and scream at me for said behavior and then say nasty shit to me,
Yeah.
that's kind of wild. But you kind of get used to it. I'm not gonna
Yeah,
You get
and
used to it.
it does suck overall. It really does suck getting into that type of topic about many of the men, and not even men. There are toxic women out there on the platform and stuff, and that's not
Yes,
specific to any person. But it sucks that that is normalized. I mean, you hear tons of
because
people
it's
saying stuff that they don't need to be saying. Just things that impacts nobody, but is just a nuisance and just creates negligent drama when you could do better with your time and space.
yeah, and they're just like, "Oh, it's COD. It's normal." Like that shouldn't be our mindset anymore. Like it's not 2008 and it's not a bunch of real life 8-year-olds on the game. Like all these 8-year-olds who are young playing Modern Warfare 2, we're all like 23, 24 now. So it's like we're supposed to be grown ass adults. And it's oh, it's COD. It's okay. This is how it's No. No.
Yeah, and I mean it is, in general. I mean it is disgusting. It's disgusting behavior to be able to, because the way that I perceive it, I mean it's a whole other topic for itself. But the main point that I would bring up is regardless of what somebody may say or do or whatever is happening in your game, it's like a lot of a good majority of people that play games have normal jobs, normal life, kids, whatever. And there's people that are doing that kind of stuff and it's ruining other people's day that don't have as much free time to play and stuff. A lot of people that are restricted on their time frames, a lot of people that have work in the next hour and stuff, and here they are for the next 30 minutes bitching to somebody else about being, whatever to anybody, and 30 minutes of your time wasted when you wanted to spend that 30 minutes of your time chilling out, having fun before you go into your good or bad day at work or however. And it does suck. That is my biggest pet peeve with gaming is that a lot of people took out the gaming from gaming.
Yeah, and like I know I just said that about COD, but like it's all games. It's everywhere. And it's just kind of really sad that we all have to be like why do I have to sit here and defend myself when all I wanted to do was play a game of Val and like joke around? Like why are, it's just so crazy to me that people take like if I play an unrated and I want to do like agent roulette, I get screamed at.
Yeah.
It's like why can't we just like have fun? Like this is the problem. Everything is taken so seriously to like a certain point and it's like just have fun, smile a little. Like I know that you like say I did only have one game to play and I was like, yeah, let's just do agent roulette. Why not? Like if you're going to be on the game all day and I'm just sitting here trying to have fun, like just do it for once. You never know what happens. Like last night we got a random to do it. And I've never heard someone giggle so loud in my ear in my whole entire fucking life. Like he was just sitting there giggling his ass off. Cause not only so like obviously I'm a Viper main, right? He got Viper. We all put ourselves on Viper, and I was like, it's bound to give someone Viper, and it's gonna be
Yeah.
me, right? It gave it to him. And so he's sitting there giggling because I'm sitting here freaking the fuck out. And it was just it was fun, and like
Yeah.
I just wish more people could be like that because that's what gaming is supposed to be. It's not supposed to be so serious all the time. Like I get if you play ranked comp, I get that, but like even then, like why are we taking it so serious?
Yeah. So getting off the main topic of, we've covered streaming, your background, kind of getting into streaming, gaming, what you enjoy. We've done tons of Valorant talk. Now let's with all of these, let's tally it all up into one and talk about, other specifically because we know that this environment and this gaming world that we're in today is very toxic. It's very hard. It's way more harder not only to progress yourself, but to be recognized by people. And there's a lot of people that are scared, scared of those interactions, scared of running into those kind of things. And a lot of people that genuinely, whether it's men or women, doesn't have to specifically just be only women. There's tons of men that feel that way
No,
and
I know
stuff.
there's
But
tons.
on specifically for a woman's standpoint, if you were wanting to get into streaming and had all these type of downfalls, now that you've had all this experience and stuff, what kind of advice would you give to other women streamers that are afraid to start streaming because of any backlash or drama that's going to happen when they simply just want to stream and have fun and have a good time, but that's what's keeping them away?
So honestly, there's like three things. Um, I being me, I am loud, I am outgoing, and I really don't take shit. You've known me for a long time. I have always stood my ground and I've always talked back. Now, and you don't have to do this, that's not the only option that you have, but that is what I did because I'm not going to let people run over me. That's not how it works. But if you do not want to do that option, I recommend you can mute everybody for a while except for your teammates. Or like if you hear just like a certain voice that just doesn't sound right, or like someone says something right off the bat, just mute them. You don't have to say anything, you don't have to interact with them, you can just mute them. And for streaming wise, I would find a very trustworthy person to be your mod. Even if you're a new streamer, you need a mod. If someone comes in there to troll and you don't want to deal with it, just tell your mod, hey, I don't want to deal with trolls at all. Don't even time them out. Don't even just ban them. And that's honestly, I did that too. I did a lot of banning in my first days of Twitch because I just didn't. I didn't want to get kicked off of Twitch for what I said because I
Yeah.
didn't know what TOS was. And I just didn't want to deal with it. I was a new streamer. I didn't know if people would like me being toxic, and I just didn't want to deal with it. And so I would just have a mod ban them, and I went that way for a while until I didn't really give a shit, and I just started yelling at everyone on Twitch too. So like, there's a lot of options, and yes, it's all scary, but like, don't let it be scary. Just because no offense, feeds, but if you are scared because it is men, know that there are a lot of females out there too, and you
Yeah.
will run into them. Yes, there may be toxic ones, but there are a lot of good ones, especially on COD, Valorant, Apex. There's a lot of good ones. So just don't be scared. It's not. It's all water and water under the
The
bridge.
bridge, yeah.
Yes, it's all water under the bridge.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that's it's good. It's good insight and stuff. So what about, specifically for, like I said, women that are wanting to get into streaming and stuff. What if you're somebody like what if I was Toka and I was like, I don't have the connections. I don't have any friends. I can't game with anybody. Like, yeah, I can mute everybody, but I'm not that good myself. I don't have nobody to make me have fun. Like what kind of insight would you give to those people?
Honestly, networking is huge. Make a Twitter, make a Discord, join people's Discords. My Discord, I tell you when I'm on Val every day. You can join me any time of day. I'm literally bronze, silver. I suck. I'm not that great. So like, My Discord is like a Val Discord. Mm, there's people who do COD Discords. There's Apex Discords. But like Twitter is a huge, huge, huge place for gamers, and it's weird that I never had one until literally 2 years ago. I just barely made a Twitter, and so like it was huge for me. That's where I met everybody. Like, yes, TikTok is great and you can meet people, but like I got scared to message people on TikTok and be like, "Oh, hey, what's up? Want to play?" Like, so I made a Twitter. Well, I had to make a Twitter, but that's a different story. I
Yeah.
made a Twitter, and that's literally where it all kind of took me off. I was able to tell people when I was live on Twitch. I joined people's Discords and sat in there and we all like talked, gamed, whatever. Before, like, when I played COD, because I played COD when I obviously we already went over that. My bad.
No, you're good. You're good.
Um, when like on COD, I would just like meet people in my lobby and be like, "Hey, do you want to like play?" Uh, that's how I met a lot of people on Cold War too, and I would know them from Cold War and be like, "Oh my gosh, I just found their Twitter." So then I'd follow their Twitter, and then they'd follow me, and then we'd talk on Twitter, and then their friends would follow me, and it was just like a huge. It's all about networking in that sense, and like yes, it is kind of scary to meet new people because I was very scared at first, but like once I got over that hump and just did it, it it helped me immensely. I had friends to game with. I would stay up all night gaming with friends, and it was just those are memories that you'll never forget. And so you don't want to sit here holding yourself back because you're scared,
Yeah.
to put it bluntly.
Yeah.
Sorry, but
No, definitely. And I think, and just kind of a side note before we keep talking here, with Toka, all of her links and everything will be in the description. Just like me and her for anybody, men, women, or maybe you're a kid, maybe you're just like trying to get into it and you're just trying to find people that are just normalized and just fun to hang out with and stuff. Like it doesn't matter what kind of person you are, what kind of game you are, everybody should be welcomed. And for me, and I'll speak, for Toka, if you ever want to check out, need somebody to talk to, need somebody new to introduce yourself with. Maybe you are new. Maybe you're new to streaming. Maybe you are exactly the type of person that we're talking about. If you need that, there's your first source. There's your first step in getting into content creation or streaming or whatever. Excuse me. And so I think that's a very big topic for a lot of people that are new and wanting to start out and stuff and get their start. And I think that that's very important with network and everything. Specifically with me, a lot of my networking originated from COD. From that's how I got, which I've already talked about this before. But sniping, that's how I got my name feeds, just because I like seeing my name on the kill feed and getting a bunch of sniper clips. And going forward from there, a lot of my community and stuff was built off of joining a bunch of teams and posting montages, and that's kind of how I got a lot of it. But there was to a certain point as a streamer where I was like, all of my friends and everybody that I have, like a lot of them kind of played COD, but they didn't play in my style. And a lot of people, not like to specifically name anyone because it's no problem. Like if you don't want to play with somebody because they're a different skill level for you, maybe you're just doing something different. Maybe you play Warzone and they don't want to play Warzone, whatever. It's very important that you find kind of like a little niche of people that are interested in the same thing, because there's going to be people. It's like, hey, I don't want to play with you. Your lobbies are too good for me. Hey, I don't want to play with you because I just don't feel like clip grinding right now. I'm just trying to have fun. Whatever your content may be. And that was, as a streamer, I started to realize that I didn't have, excuse me, I didn't have sniping friends. I had teams that I was in that also sniped with me and that I was in montages and collab with, but I didn't actually interact or play with them specifically because I didn't know when they were live. I didn't know when they were playing. I didn't know when they were hopping on. And I didn't, starting out streaming, I didn't have that initiative to be like, hey, when are you playing and stuff? Just like everybody else, I had to learn my mistakes and my flaws and take my footsteps to get to that point. And for me, it took getting on Twitch, mainly specifically on Black Ops 4 and a little bit of Black Ops 3, going on Twitch, looking up that game category, watching other streamers and their title be like best sniper in Black Ops 4 or whatever. And I would pop in and be like, oh, you think you're the best sniper? And it's like just start some stupid, dumb conversation and source your way and network your way into having that type of like minded people. And eventually, you're going to meet someone that does something that you do as well, and you're going to meet someone that has a community of people that's already established doing the same thing. And your connection with one person, you have a great night, you play with them, you have one good stream, and the next day you have like 10 new friends to play with. And that's just something that is not normalized, and a lot of people need to understand that you are your own limit. You are the one that can dictate how your next day goes, your next stream goes, or who you're playing with and who you're reaching out to.
No, that's very true. That's honestly, that is how, not how I got my community, but that is a big source of my community is we're all a tight knit, like I have a friend group and we are all of our communities love each other. And so like it really helped a lot, and it's a big part of having a community is joining communities and then getting smaller sub communities out of those, but still being that one like that kind of sounded like I'm stealing
Oh,
people.
you're good. You're fine.
But like just like you're in that still in that community, but you get all your friends who do stuff and like the same stuff as you. Like honestly, I'm a huge anime fan. Some people are not, and um their community likes the fact that I am. And so like they'll still be in that community, but they'll come over and watch me sometimes and talk to me about like the latest anime episode or like stuff like that. So like it's literally just that small little details of like what you like, and you'll find those people. Like Feed said, you will,
Yeah.
but it takes a while, and you have to join those communities. And I, my mind just went blank.
No, you're good. You're good. Yeah, I mean, it's very important, and that's kind of if you are one of those viewers, if you are one of those people that's like, hey, like I really love watching feeds, but I've been watching Toka recently, and I don't want to make feeds mad, but I kind of enjoyed Toka's content a little bit more just because that's my interest. Not saying that feeds is less credible, and that's okay. And I think that is definitely something that's not normalized at all because people build relationships so tightly to where they're afraid of branching out and devoting less time to the person they built with and building new connections, and they're afraid of losing their old friends. And you just have to realize it. It's like, again, you are your own limit. So yes, if Toka is somebody you enjoy watching and you start watching her more than who you was before, that's fine. Still check up on your friends like normal because you're still building those connections. Just because I've known Toka for 2 years, if I don't talk to her for a year, she's gonna be like, where the fuck were you, feeds? So it's like you still need to check up and
Which is
keep
true.
up on your friends and stuff. But at the same time, understand that nobody's going to be mad that you're just interested in something else just because you say that, and everybody kind of takes it a different way. But that would be the way that I take it. If you're like, hey, I really like watching Toka's content right now, no offense, I would be like, no offense taken. Like, I play oddball games and kind of wherever. She's maining Valorant, and Valorant's what you're into. It's very common sensible things, and a lot of people do lack those qualities in a respectful way. A lot of
They
people do
do
kind
a
of lack
lot.
that, and they kind of zone out, and they don't really know how to respond, and it puts that kind of like socially awkwardness on them, and that's just things that people need to understand. That's the learning curve for you, and that's what you have to get over to be able to accomplish your next step. And same thing with streaming and saying, oh, like nobody watched my streams, blah 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 blah. It's like network, branch out, get out there and show the world why you matter, and show people why they
Post
should wake up
content.
and check you out. And that's the whole thing. And people need to get out of this mindset of watch me so that I can see that you're watching me.
So
Not
that's
it.
so I can see your support.
Yeah.
It's like that's just not how
No.
I have a life. Like clearly everyone has lives. So like I can't just like devote. I'm not gonna devote to one single person. So
Yeah.
like
And I mean, like everybody takes it like a different way too, but like specifically on support, if somebody's like, "Hey, support me," it's like everybody does specifically take it a different way in a sense, and that's kind of where you can understand who your friends are and who people you kind of want to like push off a little bit and branch out. Maybe they're not the right type of cup of tea for you or whatever. Um, but that's a big thing getting into it is that understanding that it's okay to not have to correlate and have to devote time and do things that you just don't want to do, you know?
But yeah, same goes into streaming. Like honestly, if you like don't if you have a stream planned for that day and you just not hey, you're not feeling it and you like force yourself to stream, it's not going to be a good stream. In the nicest way possible, it just really will not. You're not going to have fun. Your games are going to tilt you and it's just not going to be a good time. So like if you are feeling that way, do not stream.
Yeah.
And like your community will understand.
Yeah, I mean, me and Toka are exactly that way. I mean, I can definitely think of 2 or 3 times off the top of my head where Toka's like, I'm not streaming today, whatever. And same thing for me. Like, I'll literally be midstream, like 10 minutes in. And I'm like, you know what? I'm not having a good day. This is not the kind of content I want you guys to watch. I hope you have a good day. We'll see you tomorrow. And I think that is a very huge quality to where it's like, yeah, you can look at it as like, damn, I just streamed for 10 minutes and so just came to my chat and he was so hype and happy and stuff. And it's like, you need to understand that people are going to respect that. When people come to your chat, they're coming to watch you. And if they clearly see that you're having a bad day, that is not the creator that they came to watch. And so normalizing that that's okay and understanding, if you feel bad, man, they were really interested in the stream and I really hate into stream. It's like, I'm not saying not feel that way. You can feel however you want to feel, but understand that we're all human. We all understand that there's circumstances that's going to come up there, and people have, type of mental illnesses and stuff. Sometimes it just hits them, whatever the case may be. And it
And
just happens.
and it's like usually everybody's going to be pretty understanding and they're going to be glad cuz nobody wants to see you. I don't know how to say that, like mopey. Nobody wants to see a mopey streamer who just is mad at the world. Nobody wants to see that. We want to see the happy, the laughing, the joking. And like yes, you can be toxic and like you can yell at people and like that's fine. That's not the same as like being mad at the world. It really isn't. And I can say that because I am a toxic streamer. And like but that doesn't mean that I'm mad at the world. It really doesn't. And I'm nice. But like people just say the wrong stuff and I go off. And some people don't like it, some people do. Some people think, "Oh wow, she's so cool for standing up for herself." Some people think I'm just what is this girl
What
doing?
a loser.
Like and
Yeah,
that's okay.
it
Like you can
is.
think that way, but like at the end of the day, that's just me being me and always got to be you and that's what my community likes to see. Like not they I don't know if they like to see me screaming at people. I just do that.
They've not complained yet, so.
True. That's very true. But like they still come in, so they must like something. And I'm not
Yeah.
toxic my whole stream, but like it's a good majority. Um
Yeah, but at the same time, that's what you normalize. That's your content. That's what you like doing, and that's your gateway, regardless, because it is you are full time and stuff. And I understand that takes a lot of tolls and a lot of different things. But at the end of the day, regardless of whether you have all the time in the world or no time at all, whenever you are devoting that time to streaming and gaming, you need to be having fun. I mean, it's plain and
which
simple, and a lot of people just need to hear that, and they don't.
it's true, which if you know me, I don't get that much time to stream. So like when I do, I make sure that I'm in a good ass mood because if I'm not, I will not stream. No matter if it's seriously the only stream I'm going to get that week. I will not stream because I just can't. I don't want to bring that vibes to you. I don't want to and it's just important for people to know that and like I don't think enough streamers like do it or like vocalize it or let it be known that that's why they're not streaming. They just say, "Hey, stream's not happening," and that's it.
Definitely. So yeah, so to end everything off here, I know that you have a subathon coming up. Actually, very shortly. It'll probably already be happened by the time this video comes out and stuff. Um, but are you excited for that? You're streaming on Kick now instead of Twitch.
Yes, I'm very excited for it. I was honestly very shocked that my Kick account hit off the way it did. Very happy because that means my community loves me and I love them. But Kick has been great. Honestly, not to like be that person, but I've done better on Kick in a week than I've done on Twitch in a year. And it just kind of makes me feel more validated as a streamer because I honestly put in a lot of work. I feel like I do. And it just, Twitch was not it for me. And it could be it for you, but it was not it for me. I love Kick. There's a few things that still need fixed though.
Yeah.
Like, there's no sub button on mobile, which
Yeah.
whatever, like, but there's a few people on there too that just, and that's why a lot of people don't switch to Kick. But it's just, I feel like this was an opportunity that I had to take,
Definitely.
and so I did, and I don't regret it. And if you're on PC and you're able to, and you feel like Twitch is not doing it for you, try Kick. Who knows?
Definitely. So yeah, like I said, all of Toka's links and everything are in the description. Toka, I appreciate you so much for coming on and talking about your come up as a streamer and stuff, and normalizing certain things, especially for women in general. It's very, very big topics and stuff, and everybody needs to understand their safe spaces, but also needs to make sure that they're always planning ahead of time, so that way they can guarantee themselves some type of success every single day, even if it's just one new person. So any last words that you want to say or anything before we end today?
Uh, I just want to say, if you are really serious about wanting to try streaming, do it. Now is the time. There can never be a too late or too soon, but there can be a too late. So do it. Don't be scared. Thanks for
Well,
having me, Feeds,
yeah, of
and
course.
it was a blast.
Yeah, it was fun. I'm glad. I'm glad that having the podcast. I mean, we talked about it before, but I mainly want them to be again, kind of like a safe space, just highlighting creators and stuff, not talking about dumb topics that are going to get views, just having a nice chill time. Because at the end of the day, regardless of how many friends you can have, there are friends that won't you'll kind of have these discussions with you and stuff, and that's perfectly fine. That's no discredit to them, but like overall, I do think that it's important that me dedicating time to highlight whoever the guest is on my podcast, it makes me feel good because I know that they are saying certain things that want to be heard. In general, it's just always nice to talk about your come up and things that you don't really ever talk about and just things you forget about. So it's definitely cool and it's a good feeling, and that's what I want this podcast to be.
I also have one more thing to say. Sorry.
No, you're fine.
Um, if you are a mother or a father, if you're a parent, you can still stream. I promise. I swear, pinky swear on my life. You can still stream. I do it every day. I make time for it, and yeah, just do it, do it, do it, do it. Kid's not holding you back. You are. So just
Do
do
it.
it.
Do it. So yeah, but I
And
appreciate you coming on for episode number 2 of Thieves Mindset. Hope you guys really enjoyed. Leave a comment down below. Tag anybody that you would like to see if you would like to see anybody else on this. Toka, again, thank you so much. You've been wonderful. You've been awesome having this on this podcast. And yeah, thank you so much, guys, for watching. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Make sure you sub, like, comment, all that stuff.